What's up, FilmPhantoms? How you doing? Welcome back. Anyways, FilmPhantoms, today we're talking about honeyboy. So, honeyboy essentially is a kind of loose semi-autobiographical movie about Shia Lebeouf and I guess his early life. This movie is written by Shia Lebeouf, starring Shia Lebeouf, but Shia Lebeouf isn't playing Shia Lebeouf. I'll explain. So essentially this movie is written by Shia LaBeouf, directed by har'el. This is her first directorial debut for a feature-length movie. She has done documentary work before. This is kind of first for both of them. This is Shia LaBeouf's first attempt at writing a feature-length movie and har'el's first attempt at directing a feature-length movie. But you can't really tell. There's no real like amateurish anything about this movie, and let's just get into what this movie's about. As I said before, Shia LaBeouf is in this movie, but he's not playing himself. He's playing his own father, who has his own issues for sure, but we'll get into that later. As I said before, this movie is loosely self-biographical, so not everything I'm sure happened, but the bulk, I think the framework of what happened is what really happened. So if you're going into this movie thinking that you're getting a behind the scenes kind of look at early Even Stevens or Transformers movies, which is what Shia LaBeouf starred in and kind of guided his career to where it is now, you're not really going to get that. This movie, at its core, a look into the relationship between a father and a son, and I guess that toxicity that existed, and just explains why he is the way he is, and even why the father is the way he is. It's just a deep dive into two people's lives, mostly Shia's or Otis's. This movie is going on two timelines, and that's because essentially this movie starts out with Otis getting into the trouble that he's getting. He gets into trouble, he's drinking, driving, he crashes, he ends up in rehab, and at this rehab he's basically diagnosed with PTSD and obviously alcoholism, but both of these are kind of the core root as to why he is the way he is. And they do something called exposure therapy, which is basically you're acting out from the other point of view what happened to you, in this case as a child. It could be other things if you're dealing with PTSD, but in this case it's what he was dealing with as a child, and he's acting out what his father did to him, or looking back at that and kind of understanding how those things hurt him, stunted him, and why it affects his actions. The dad obviously has PTSD as well. He kind of had some kind of former glory as well, serving as a rodeo clown back in some other state at some point, and he kind of always brings that up in conversation when he's meeting other people. This whole idea of fame and fortune, or just fame, I think, something that the dad in this movie kind of reflects on and kind of uses almost against a younger Otis while speaking to him and helping him get through his younger days as well. But he's also being paid to be there as the chaperone for this kid. You know, the dad wasn't always there. He had alcoholic problems. He has, drug issues, as well as the PTSD from the military, as well as the PTSD from his own father, who he's now taken the issues to and now is passing them down to his son. And you see this hierarchy of just damage being brought down from kind of like generation to generation, and just the cyclical nature of how it goes. You're seeing, adult Shia understanding and kind of growing as a person and realizing, transition, if you will, from, alcoholic, cry for attention problem to, now. And he always kind of had a good heart throughout it all. He just had a lot of issues to deal with, and you see why in this movie. It was really cool the way I got to watch it. Me and my girlfriend, we got to go see this at ArcLight in Hollywood during a movie premiere. So we kind of got to see it ahead of time, and actually after the movie there was a Q&A with Shia LaBeouf and the director. They actually said the movie was filmed in 19 days, and I can't imagine filming this emotional, raw performance of basically everybody involved, whether it's, younger Otis, older Otis, or the dad. Relationships and family ties and just drama and just life happens to everybody, and to see it happen on this scale to somebody who's made this much money and been in this many roles and is living, in Hollywood and doing all this and doing that. The fact that it can happen to people like that, it makes you realize life happens to everybody. Whether it's, to a certain extreme or not, it happens to everybody. And to see that, and to see, Shia seems like a really good person, and to see why he was and why he did the things that he did when you saw it on TMZ, it's pretty cool to watch, and it's a cool insight into just I guess, a father-son dynamic, but just into people and life in general. But if like a look into people's, I guess, past and life and why people act the way they do and why some people lash out, or just a funny at times look and raw emotional kind of movie, if that's something that you kind of like, I would definitely go check this movie out, especially if you're a Shia Lebeouf fan. I think you'll really like this movie. But all in all, I'm going to give this movie a B+. But anyways, FilmPhantoms, I appreciate you guys stopping by. I have more videos in the work coming soon, so hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you know every time I'm coming out with new, just videos in general, sometimes reviews, sometimes not. Hit that bell though, hit the like, and just, I appreciate you guys stopping by. I'll see you guys in the next one.